Hey, how's it going, guys? Have a new flashlight review for you today. Today we're talking about the new and improved Thrunite TN11S V2, okay, version 2. What they did was they gave you a new LED, bumped up the power on this, and lowered the price, which is always a good thing. The old one used to cost $59.95, and the new one costs $49.95. Now, the old version, the max output was 830 lumens. With this new one, if you use the option with the two 18650s or the four CR123s, you're going to get a high output of 1163 lumens. What sets this light apart from a lot of other lights, because I know, like, if you guys are new to flashlights or you don't really follow all the technical aspects of the flashlight stuff, what this one basically gives you is more options. It's a little bit more technical with that quick strobe on the side. But also, this one has lots of throw. That's basically what this is bringing to the table, is tons of throw. It has a very large head and a very deep, smooth reflector. Okay, so this is really sending that light out quite a bit of a distance. You'll see that at the end here. I'll do some beam shots for you outside, since the weather is beautiful. Any excuse to get out there at night is a good thing. Nice and cool. But anyway, before we really get into the meat and potatoes of the video, I just want to apologize in advance. I have pretty bad allergies right now. Everything's starting to bloom, and you know, the pollen's out in the air. So if you hear a little bit of sniffling or my voice is a little bit different in this video, my apologies for that. So let's get some of this accessory stuff out of the way and kind of give you the breakdown on the battery options, okay? Now, how I've been running this light is with one single 18650. That's just how I prefer it, okay, because it's a smaller package. You do get the extensions on here. There's two different pieces, okay, where you can do different combinations of these body tubes. And this will run on one 18650 or two 18650s, okay? 1, 2, 3, or 4 CR123s. Okay, so this goes from quite small to quite large. It just depends on the output you want, the specific batteries. What's really nice about that is you do have the option to swap around. Let's say you have one 18650 charged up, but the other one's not. That's okay, you can use one. Let's say all your 18650s are depleted and you want to use the light. You could throw in some CR123s. Again, you could do one of them, two of them, three of them, or four of them. So you definitely have some different power options with this, which is very cool. So that's what this is. These are the two body tubes, okay? So you can use different combinations of that to get your different power sources. Also, you get a simple plastic sleeve. This is for your your CR123s. That's just to take up some slack so you don't get any rattle in there. You also get the pocket clip here. Definitely a design change here, okay? A lot shorter of a clip. I'm used to longer clips on these flashlights. Did try it out. You guys know my personal preference is to not use the pocket clip. I just kind of like it in the pocket. In this case, because it's a little bit bigger, I do use the holster, you know, the little sleeve here for this light. But it is a lower pocket clip, so it's less of a profile. Some people might like that. It is stainless, even though the bezel's stainless here. I would still prefer this to be black, just personal preference. But it does work. It's just smaller than we're used to. As far as the lanyard, still a very cool design lanyard, but I think it's a little bit of a downgrade with the materials here. I mean, you get so much more in your actual light, but as far as the accessories here, it's just the cord itself. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't think it's going to rip. I just like the old one better. It was a, I don't know, more comfortable material in my opinion, and I don't know, it kind of felt stronger. But again, this is not something I'm using day in and day out. I don't really know if it's stronger or not. Just my first impressions of it, I should say, because I don't use this. I just want to point that out, as I used to like the old material a little bit more. So, besides that, of course, we have our spare O-rings. All right, very important. Occasionally you will, you know, break an O-ring. Because people ask me messages, you know, like, why do you always get these spare O-rings? Save them. Always save them. Put, you know, if you buy a bunch of flashlights, save them all in a little box. One day, you will be looking for them, so don't lose them. But anyway, the sheath, also, kind of a design change here. You see it slenders up a little bit. It's got an open bottom. All right, so it doesn't matter what size you're going with. You can have that stick out the bottom, okay, especially use those extensions. A little bit hard to get in here with the cigar ring on there, as I showed you before. That kind of tactical ring. You just have to kind of twist it down, all right, to get a better fit. Still like the sheath. It's got the button snap on the back with the Velcro. You guys know I'm a huge fan of the combination of Velcro and a snap, because once this stuff gets dirty, if it does get dirty, it's not going to work as well. So it's good to always have that snap as kind of a backup there. So no complaints with the sheath, just a different design, but the same good quality materials. There's no loose threads anywhere. You know, the stitching's not falling apart. It is definitely better quality as far as flashlight sheaths go. Okay, and of course you get your paperwork here as well. All the information you're going to want on how to use it and its features and the specs, all that kind of stuff. I do like Thrunite's paperwork. I highly recommend when you get your light, even if you watch these reviews and you kind of know how to use it, go through and just double read everything. It's just good to know about your flashlight. All right, now on to the light. So first off, let's talk about the old one again. The old TN11S, the original version, was $10 more. It was 60 bucks, okay? There was a different LED. They used to have a XML-U2 LED. There's been an upgrade, okay? The new kind of standard is the XML2 U2 LEDs. So that's what this one is sporting. And it might be hard to tell, but there's a very deep reflector there, okay? The entire head, if I turn this sideways, you can see it's a lot deeper than these other flashlights, and you can also tell that it flares out more, okay? So it's wider and deeper, and it is completely smooth. Okay, this is the cool white version. It does come in a neutral white, which is the same price. No price difference in this particular model. But this offers tons and tons of throw because of that reflector. All right, very cool. Crenulated bezel on here. Talked about this before. Basically just, if you keep your light on, you put it down on the table, whatever, you can see the light escaping out the side, so you know that it's on. And it does have a little bit of defensive options there as far as striking. It's not sharp or anything, no issues at all, like within the pocket. They're never too aggressive on these Thrunite lights. Just a nice little touch. It's a detail that's there, why not? Why not have it? I don't know anyone out there who, really dislikes this kind of thing. And it's become kind of the standard in the flashlight community. You can see the finning on here. This is to dissipate some of that heat that's generated because it is a higher output LED. Okay, so it works as a heat sink. So as I mentioned in the first review of this, the one downside to this light is it does not tail stand. Okay, as far as being a tactical light, not an issue. Okay, but I'm not going on any kind of missions anytime soon. So I see my flashlights as fully utilitarian, and that's the purpose of me having flashlights. So definitely a downside in my opinion. Again, if you're more on the tactical side of things, if you want to run it as a weapons light or something like that, mounted to a rifle, really not an issue at all. But for me, it's a big downside, not having that to be able to easily tail stand. I'd have to, cradle between some books or something. All right, now this one works exactly like the original version. You have a button on the back, your tail clicky here, pushing it halfway for momentary on, or click it for constant on. Your side button is a dedicated mode changing button. Okay, so you can scroll through the modes here. As far as accessing the strobe, when it's in the off position, you can do momentary strobe just by hitting that side button. That's what makes this kind of extra tactical, is at any point in time, you don't have to worry about, swapping through different modes. You get right to that button on the side, and then you get right into your strobe. Now, if you want constant strobe, when the light's on in any mode, it doesn't make a difference. You just hold it down, okay, and then strobe will stay on for a constant period of time. Now, when you're in the momentary strobe mode, it's one wavelength, okay? When you put it on the constant, it's going to scroll through a fast strobe and then a slower strobe, and then back to a fast strobe and so on. This is a much more effective strobe feature, okay? So just something to note there. It does change. It's constant, one wavelength for the momentary and a multiple wavelength for the constant on. As far as the modes here, okay, you have low, medium, high. Pretty straightforward. On one 18650, your low mode is going to be 5.2 lumens for 195 hours. Again, not tested by myself, that's just their specifications. Bump it up to 208 lumens, 7-hour runtime, and then high is going to be 990 lumens for 110 minutes. That is again on one 18650 or two CR123s. Now, if you use the extensions on here, and you're running either 4 CR123s or the two 18650 cells, your low mode is going to go from 5.2 to 16 lumens. Your medium is going to go from 208 to 323 lumens, and your high is going to go from 990 to 1163. Okay, so when I say this is a high output of 1163 lumens, that means on the 4 CR123s or two 18650 cells. I know it all sounds confusing, but it's pretty straightforward, again, once you read the paperwork. So to kind of sum everything up, because I did throw a bunch of numbers and technical specs at you guys, if you're not really into flashlights, none of that means anything to you. Basically, it's the same old light. It works the same as before. Only it's $10 cheaper now, and it's brighter because they upgraded the LED. Why, again, you would get this model over something else? The two attributes: number one, the biggest one in my opinion, is that this has a lot of different battery options. Okay, options are good. The other thing is that this throws a lot better than other models simply because of the design on the head. It tapers out, it's a little bit wider, and it's definitely deeper. All right, so let's go take a look at that right now. The proof is in the pudding. Let's get some beam shots. All right, so we're back outside. Yes, I still got the solar lights here. This is where I did my first beam shot on the original version of this light, so you can reference that old video if you want. And again, remember, I'm running this on the single 18650. So what you're about to see is not the full capability of this light. This is how I run it. This is how I've been using it most, so that's how I'm reviewing it. If you guys want to see the full light that this flashlight has to offer, you can reference Prepared Mind 101's video. He did a review of this light. All right, so we're going to start off with our low mode. Now, as I bring it towards the beginning of the path, you guys can see that there. But as I bring it up, it kind of fades off with distance. All right, let's turn that up to medium. You can see the bench. That is the benchmark for all my flashlights, quite literally. I try to always do these beam shots in the same areas so you guys can compare the videos to each other, you know, to see how one light compares to another. All right, as I pan back and forth, even on medium right now, I mean, I can see way out there. I can see across the street, you know, way past my property into the neighbor's property. All right, sorry, I had to cut film there for a second. I had a kid driving down the road, thought he was in the new Fast and Furious movie. So anyway, let's see, low, medium, now let's bump it up to high. Now remember, this is high with one 18650 cell, okay, but this is pumping out plenty of light. I can clearly see the yard. It's not too much spill. Inherently with, you know, 1,000 lumens almost, you're going to get a lot of spill, but this beam is really kind of focused to the center, but there's no specific hotspot. Even when I bring it down to the ground, you can see it's dispersed very nicely. All right, but as I bring it back up, not only can you see the bench very clearly, but if I go off to the side, you can see that tree right there is all the way across into the neighbor's front yard. And I don't know the exact distance, but it is 3 times the distance from here to the bench. And I can clearly see it. All right, so let's check out that strobe. Okay, this is just hitting the side button. Now, if you hold the side button down, I don't know the exact amount of time, but let's just say 5-6 seconds, and you let go, it does automatically transition into the constant on. And you can see how the wavelength is changed from slow to faster. Very beneficial if you guys are into your strobe mode and you understand its capabilities as far as a defensive option. That is good. I like that it changes the wavelength. Okay, it's harder for your eyes to adjust that way. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the new TN11S V2. Very cool upgrade and drop in price. I mean, can't ask for much more than that. So I applaud Thrunite for the changes on this light. So that's all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any comments or questions, or if you own this light, please feel free to write about it down below in the comment section. And I will see you guys soon with some new videos. Thanks for watching. Take care.